And we have a lot of people that work with us that come and say, like, far apart, we come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good. Yay!
We're
Woohoo! We are
back.
back,
Hi,
y'all.
Roy. You need to sit down.
Talk more. Oh, Roy finally stood up for once.
Yes.
Why
Sit
don't
down.
you face the camera,
No,
Roy?
lay down.
Roy, face
Lay
the
down.
camera. Let people see your beautiful smiley face.
Oh, he's
Are
gonna
you
just
going to
put
show
his
me your butt
butt on.
instead?
Because you're a
Maybe,
handsome guy.
maybe we won't use that camera angle for
You're
that
a
one.
handsome fella.
Sit down.
You are too.
There you go.
You
There
are
we go.
too.
Now we can see your face. Look, he's so gorgeous. Roy's love language. Have we said
Physical touch and
physical
words of
touch?
affirmation.
This dude will starve to death. If
Yeah,
it's between food and a hug,
you would choose
hug every time.
physical affection every time.
Which I guess
Yes.
makes them a complete set because she's going straight for the food.
Yeah, she's very food motivated.
Food
So
motivated.
we'll say hers is probably gifts.
Yeah. So we said a while ago we were going to discuss differences once we got to a certain point
Yes.
and just kind of getting into our differences. And so since we have a little bit of time and a little bit of tape left, we can jump
Right.
into that because that was something you were thinking about. So instead of answering questions, we'll discuss differences today. But is there a place you wanted to start with that or something you were thinking about with that?
We talked about it I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something like that, and you were carrying on about something in one of our conversations, and I had said I'm going to let you finish and then I'm going to just sum this up in one sentence or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
my sentence was, um on paper we are drastically different, but internally we are very similar.
Yes.
And we have a lot of people that work with us that come and say, like, are we too different? Are we too, far apart? We come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
And anybody that would know us know that we are, like, our histories are polar
Yeah,
opposite
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of
Yeah.
of one another.
Yep.
And so I was like, maybe that's probably something good to
Just
talk
jump
about.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something here that's going to offend or bother some people.
Go ahead.
And that is, when we are together,
Yep.
I don't see you as being black and me as being
Yep.
white.
Yep.
I just see you as being you.
Yep.
And I don't look at you like this is a black or African American
Yep.
male. I just see you as you, like the essence, the energy
Yeah, yeah.
of you.
What I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we often don't think about that in our relationship until someone points it out to us,
Mm-mm.
or we're in a situation that warrants us to be aware of
Right.
that,
And then
or in, an,
honestly,
in a space environment that warrants us to be aware of
pretty
it.
much. And then of course in the tenor of the world that we're living in,
Right.
we've discussed this. I've told you this. I think about it more than you do, but not
Mhm.
necessarily because I look at you and think, oh, white woman. It's because I am aware of my blackness
Right.
around a white woman when I walk out in public.
Hmm.
Now, it's not all the time. It's not something I think about frequently, but there are times where it'll pop up, and we are in the South. And so
Right. Right on, my friend.
we are in the South. I mean, Atlanta's Atlanta, but there's a whole bunch of Georgia in the South surrounding Atlanta. And there's some places in Atlanta, it seems these days, where, that thing is top of mind. Or,
That thing also comes top of mind when we are in the North and in the country.
oh, yeah. Basically, when we're outside of the cities, when we
Right.
are
When we go to
outside of the
visit family,
cities, when the
we go to visit
population ain't
family.
dense, it gets
No.
tense.
Did you just come up with that?
I did.
That's stupid.
I now work for the Cochran Law Firm, but
So dumb.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
It's more
yo,
like when the
that's
population isn't
funny.
diverse.
Ooh, man, but yeah. So, but no, no. And speaking of cities versus countries,
Rural.
rural or the country area, I'm from a city, very,
Yes.
very much heavily populated black city from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop, go Ravens! And so I can't, and it's not that thing where people claim they're from the city and they lived in the county somewhere. I grew up in the
Yeah.
city limits in the actual city. And so there's the experience of being in the city, growing up in the area with what that introduces financially, what that introduces as far as crime rates and drug rates and things
Mhm.
of those natures that I had to see growing up in the 80s and the 90s when Baltimore was going through some things, and crack and cocaine and all that stuff was, and so there were a lot of things there. I walked to school because hey, Baltimore doesn't have school buses. So at 5 or 6, whatever you are, second or third grade, you know,
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9, walking to school a mile and back to school for a mile, which is very different, for example, from which kids in New York, no biggie. Where I go to public school 289 or whatever the number is, and they just hop on the subway and just go do their thing, was very familiar type of thing for my upbringing. However, you in elementary school in middle of Amish country,
Indiana.
Indiana, Hoosiers, middle of the,
Yes.
and
Shout out to Fort Wayne.
what
Whoop,
what,
whoop.
and no joke on Amish country. I guess freaking Amish country.
Yeah, I grew up in very rural
Horses just
Indiana.
click clacking down the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
you
Yes,
know,
neighbors,
just
things like that.
right.
Out in the middle of, I grew up in the middle of a wooded area,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
you know, but then, in the middle of a field,
In the middle of the field.
in the middle of just, open, can see forever
Right.
around you.
Meanwhile, I'm reaching over at the next door neighbor,
Yeah.
and I have to be honest. At least I didn't grow up in a row house, so that was
Yes.
even tighter.
Yeah.
I had several friends and several past girlfriends or whatever who like grew up in the row home, and the width of the house was this wall to that wall,
Hmm.
and it was just stacked on top. But you also could hear the neighbor, and if you were in the middle, you could be 20 houses down.
Hmm. Yeah. So my upbringing was rural, Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
to high school educated parents.
Mm-hmm.
My dad then owned a small seasonal business, which he then, had my entire childhood to adulthood. Um, and you grew up in inner city
Inner city
Baltimore,
Baltimore, two parents,
college educated,
college educated.
college
Both of
educated.
them had their masters. No. Father had bachelor's, mother had masters, I believe. Or did they both have their masters? Actually, I think they both had their masters because they were both teachers. So they were professional educators who jumped on me like crazy. Between them and my aunts, I had too
You
many.
come from a family
I come from
of
a family of
educators.
educators, including my sister right now, who is still teaching in the city of Baltimore.
Yeah.
But the subject verb agreement and ain't a word and all that stuff. So even now, if I use ain't while I'm on here talking to people or talking to you for fun, that is because I'm using it
Yeah.
specifically to use
On
ain't
purpose.
on purpose. I know the verb is isn't, the word is isn't, and I should say isn't, but I'm going like ain't. Or if I'm using a double negative, it's an intentional double negative. I'm not using it without knowing. Um, but yes, I grew up in a college educated family. You were absolutely going to college in my household. That was different in your household.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah,
Immediately following high
immediately.
school, you're
There is no
absolutely
such thing as
going.
a break year. You're
No.
going
You
immediately
got
to
to.
college.
Yeah.
Your family was different.
Yeah, like my parents didn't have that. And my parents come from two big families.
Yeah,
I told you on a previous episode that we used to joke that like our extended families like put the fun in dysfunction. Um and so I think I was the first in my extended family
to go
to get a bachelor's
extended
degree.
family,
Extended
which we're talking
family.
about 30, 40, 50 deep.
Oh,
Your
more
extended
than that.
family,
I mean way more than
your
that.
extended family beats my family's
For generations.
because you
My
have
first cousins like
right.
outnumber you guys by like
Seriously,
tenfold.
seriously, because
More than that, actually.
my mother's side of the family had, she only had she had 3 to 4 half brothers, but they were only half brothers, and they weren't necessarily in the, what do we call that? The organic or central
The
family, the
nuclear,
nuclear
yeah.
family. That's the word I'm thinking of. So they weren't in the nuclear family. They were just completely somewhere else. They were essentially a second family. And then my father's family was him in 3 siblings.
Yeah.
Out of the 3 siblings, so the generation above my grandfather, for example, you had my grandfather's family, and so you had they had 4 children on that level of the tree, and then the grandkids there were only 4 because two only had one child, my parents were the only ones who had two children, and my other aunt did not
Yeah.
have any children. So you're talking about four. That's it. Four. So we have
There are
three
5 siblings
generations.
in my
Right,
family.
right. We have three generations, and the full count is 8. That doesn't even.
Silly rabbit.
Right, right. That full count. That doesn't even take care of like your mother's side of siblings.
That doesn't even take care of one of my
I
mom's
know. That's what I'm saying.
siblings. Yeah.
And then you have the thing that's also interesting to think about. And what I like about our differences is that our differences are both stereotypical and they break the stereotypical mold
Yeah.
in the sense that your family is very much still locally based exactly where they grew up.
Yeah.
All your family hangs out with each other for Christmas, New
Yeah.
Year's,
Friday
Saturday,
nights.
right? Like Wednesday, y'all are all together. You go to
Yeah.
church together.
Your birthday is your cousins getting together.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
were together the day before your birthday. It just happened to be this day they
True
brought a
that.
cake with them. You know, my family, on the other hand, some's down in Florida, some are up in New York, some are in North Carolina. And
Yeah.
so when you got together, it had to be a holiday because that's the only time you were seeing each other.
Yeah.
Because the original portion of the family lived in North Carolina, but father and his sister moved up to Baltimore. Another family moved down to Florida. Another one joined the military, was over in Germany. So you have this family that's spread all over the place that mostly stays in contact through telephone calls, maybe letters back then. And now you can do text and email, of course. But we're spread out all over the place. All over the place.
Hmm.
Your family is within the same
Most of them are very
I'm about to
central.
say 20-mile radius, but it's probably more like a 5 to 10-mile radius
Yeah, something like that. I mean, as some of
as the
them are
crow
spread out a
flies.
little bit, but still not
Yeah.
anything. It's still centrally located.
So
Yeah.
your family's real close to each other.
Yeah, proximity wise and emotionally or relationally
Mm-hmm.
wise.
Mm-hmm.
Um like we said, like your education, like everybody went to school
Yep.
like
Yep.
college immediately after high school.
Yep.
I was not the oldest by far. I was not the oldest. I mean, my mom is one of 7 and my dad is one of, I'm going to say 8,
Yo,
but
that's 15 right there. So that's my grandparents, my parents, that line, that's our line, that's another line. We haven't even gotten to 15 yet on my end. We haven't even gotten to 15 yet. I
um
think we're still hovering around 12 or 13.
yeah. And so I didn't go to college until I was 26,
Yeah.
start my bachelor's degree.
So you came out of high school and did what immediately?
What did I do?
Is that when you started doing hair? That was even
Not
before you started doing hair
immediately.
because you were trying to
Yeah,
figure out
not
what to do.
immediately.
Yeah.
I just I think I worked at a daycare. I can't, there are big chunks of my like
Yeah.
gone. I think I worked at a daycare and then I went to cosmetology school and I did that for a while. And I still, sometimes do a little bit of that. And then I became an office manager.
Yeah.
And then from there, then I went to get my bachelor's
Yeah.
degree. So I was 26 when I started my bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
By that time, you were,
Oh, I was already working.
yeah, well out
By
of
that point,
college.
I had come out. I had worked. I had an internship that I started in high school. Well, senior year, the end of the senior year before college. So I started the summer before college. I had an internship then. I carried that through college, even though I worked about 3 or 4 different internships in college. And I often consider I went to school a partial music scholarship, so I considered that work because you had to do that.
Yeah. At
So
HBCU,
at a
too, music
HBCU,
scholarship is a
and
full-time job.
that's a full time job. That
Yeah.
ain't no joke. That
Now,
ain't
the
no
one
joke.
thing we did have in
And that ant was
common,
intentionally used there. Go ahead. And the no.
the one thing we did have in common is that we were both raised in the church.
Yes. Yes.
But that's about the only thing.
And it was a very different church.
Very different church, but we
Even
were
when
there
we
all the
even when we
time.
talk
all the
about
time.
hymnals, even when we go through the hymnals, like you'd imagine that the hymnals, page 256, is holy, holy, holy is
Hymn
always holy,
606,
holy,
the
holy,
benediction.
right? But our benedictions were very different. Our benedictions were very different. So even when we sing through the hymnals, and you imagine they'd be the same, but
No.
I came from a Baptist background, which
Yeah.
was a Black Baptist, almost burgeoning on Southern Baptist, but not quite as strict. Your spiritual background and religious background was.
conservative Mennonite,
Yeah.
and then became more, um, I guess I'll say like more Pentecostal, but I'm not 100% sure how
Only
I
if
would
by
describe it.
just barely stepping your toe into the
Then I would
Pentecostal.
say just, just overall like white evangelical,
Yeah.
like the white evangelical
But even
church.
even to talk about Mennonite is just one step clear of Amish, right?
Close.
So
Which my great grandmother was
was Mennonite.
Amish.
She was Amish. Right, right. So you
Yeah.
still have that Amish lineage and then
She was, and then she converted,
okay.
right? So it's
So she
not
can
that far,
not
not that
that
many
far,
steps,
not that
not that
far.
many steps.
But yeah, but still that whole church was like different sides.
Yeah,
Different sides.
and definitely like a drastic difference from the church that you grew up in. So
Yeah.
I didn't go to college till late. You went
I went
immediately
immediately. By
after.
the time I was 26, I'd already bought a house, had been working someplace
Yeah,
professionally in a career.
right. And then I went directly from my bachelor's degree to my master's
Mm-hmm.
degree
Mm-hmm.
and came out of there at what was I, 32? Something
32.
like that.
Okay.
32. Um and then moved back home because my specialization is in international
Right. But you
social
did
work.
spend in college, you did something that I wish I had done,
Yes, I
which
studied
is
abroad.
you studied
I
abroad. So
studied abroad in my master's program because, like had just said, like my specialization is in global social work. So I studied
right.
in India when I would have done, I was gonna go in my I was gonna go to Spain in my bachelor's degree, but then I didn't.
Okay.
I went to um I went to India when I was in grad school.
Okay.
Um and then came back and moved back to Fort Wayne, not because I wanted to stay there, but because when I went to India, I moved out of my place
LA.
in New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Yeah. And so then I didn't have I didn't have a job and a place to live. So I moved back home after
Yeah.
grad school to figure out where I was going to work or what I was going to do.
Right.
Um,
So you went back home. I absolutely refused to go back home.
yeah,
So I moved out of home pretty much dead set. Once I went to college, I was pretty
you were
much
not,
out of
yeah,
the
you were
house.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, but by sophomore year, I didn't stay at the house for longer than I want to say maybe the summer after sophomore year. I might have stayed there a week, but that would have been the longest I stayed there post like high school until I don't think I've ever stayed in the house a week after that.
Probably not since,
So
yeah.
while you went back home, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah. So I'm trying to think like what else are,
the big differences.
yeah. I mean, so
Um,
even, I mean, those as we're talking about, I'm like, oh, that's not a lot, but that really is everything. We've just talked about it a lot. So it doesn't seem like it's that much,
right, right,
to
right.
me. You guys also, when you were growing up, like traveled extensively.
We did, but we didn't leave the country.
I didn't leave the country until I was like
Or
around 14-ish, 15-ish. Other than that, we were strictly road tripping. Like we did not have money.
yeah,
My dad worked owned a company that did seasonal
did right.
work.
So you had
So
seasonal
yeah, during the
availability.
summer when he was working, we really couldn't go many places. Maybe we would occasionally go like for a week or something. I don't I'd
Yeah,
have to ask them like when we would go because that was a busy season. Um and so we road trip because that's what we could afford.
yeah.
I can remember like maybe one time or two times like taking a flight
I will say we did do that. We did
when
take
we
a couple
were,
of flights. I'm trying to
yeah.
remember. I remember hopping on U.S. Air back in the day when
But
that was a
also at
thing.
that point there were three of us because I had said just a second ago I
Oh
come from a
yeah,
family. At that point there were three of us, and then my
three
other
siblings.
three
Yeah,
siblings.
so there
Yeah,
were
three
five total. Three
siblings.
siblings.
And then yeah, then it was years later
The other two.
the other two came along, and then
So
it was drastically different, right?
and to
Because
clarify, they weren't mistake babies.
no, they weren't. They were not mistake babies. No, no.
They were adoption and
Yeah,
adoptions.
yeah. Um, they were very conscious decisions. Um, but then it was drastically different for them. Even they would have a different upbringing than I did because
Oh
my
yeah,
parents were in a different place in their life, in a different space, and they were much older, like older than what they were when we, when they were raising us three. We call ourselves the OGs,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
raising us OGs.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so just completely different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Mm-hmm.
conservative family.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
you
Yep.
went to college right away,
Went to
which most
college.
people would think stereotypically. I'm just going to put it out there.
You would have been going to college, and
Stereotypically,
I would have
I
had
would
to
have,
figure it out. Yeah.
yeah,
No, no, no. That it
yeah,
was
yeah,
the other
yeah.
way around. That I had the college educated parents, and you didn't.
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm. She's
Um,
just in the way down here.
oh no, both of them are. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my legs. I've been wanting to uncross my legs, but then I have to sit out here like this. Now I'm slouching, so
um, and then um, I was back at home.
yep,
I sort of like dated a little bit here and there, but not a whole
yep,
lot because again, geographic location.
yep.
Meanwhile, you were married shortly
I
after
was married.
college.
I was within a year or two after college, I was married, and it wasn't one of those ooh, I want to be a parent, have a baby type of marriages. It was I was in a relationship, I was in a committed relationship, and marriage was the next step.
Hmm.
You know, it was the responsible next step. It wasn't a shotgun wedding or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
And so it was a decisive step forward, but I was also 24, I
Mm.
believe. So I was 24, which means when
When I
you
was
hadn't even gone to school yet. Yeah. So by the time you went to school at 2006, well, 2006, at 26, I was married 2 years and had a 1 year old. So I was already in the
in a different,
I was
completely different season of
I was
life.
already in the throes of the family. I had by that point I had 2000 we're saying 26. By 26, I had worked with a company, Fortune 500 company, good job, but had already gone through a riff and was starting to build my own company. But that was also right around the time 26 would have been right before the 2008, probably somewhere in that area, housing bubble and all that
Mm.
stuff hit. So we're
Yeah. So I'm just starting my, college career at 26. You've got a one
I'm on
year
my second
old
career with a 1 year old and
with
a
a one
wife
year old.
and a house and a
Yeah.
nice size house and two car notes, and my retirement plan started. You know, I'm
Yeah.
way down the road. You know,
Hmm. Then where does the next difference?
next difference fall.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
yeah,
good
so I was
question.
just sort of dating and you were then how long after did you have your second kid?
Oh, the second kid was 7.5 years later. 7.5 years later.
So I would have been in like finished up with grad school at that point
Yep, yep. But you
in
would have been you probably right around that time frame. You were filtering back into Indiana,
hmm
Indiana time frame, and I now have two kids. I've purchased my third or fourth home. I've moved.
you've relocated.
I've
Yeah.
relocated. You're right, right. I've relocated. Not just homes, but kind of areas of where I am. I've relocated. I mean, oof, we're going through these big shifts here, those life shifts, and I'm already at that point in the throes of just marital issues anyway. But I'm in the middle of these in and out of trying to deal with these marital issues and high stress of marital issues, but also housing, childcare, health, because
Mm.
former wife was having major health issues, and I also had some health issues. At that point, I probably was right on the verge, or might have been right after. No, I was right on the verge. I should have been right around back surgery time frame.
Mm.
So I'm having back surgery.
Yeah, also like your neither one of your parents are still living.
Right. So
Mine
by
are
by that
still.
point, my father,
Yeah.
we're right around the area where my father passes. Right
Right.
around that time frame. Right around that time frame, my mother is dealing with health issues, and I'm trying to do the best I can to be a responsible child. So I'm already in the sandwich
The sense
generation thing,
generation. Yeah,
and
very
I'm
much.
in my upper 20s. I'm in my upper 20s, low 30s. I'm already taking care of two down and trying to take care of one up, and dealing with the death of one up. And
Right.
so
Right.
so this aging thing is happening way too fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and you're just getting out of grad school.
Yeah. In my early 30s. Yeah.
So
So then by the time that we talk about like on paper we are very different.
yeah,
Our experiences are very different. You
yeah,
had a previous marriage and your previous marriage was to a black woman
hmm
And um so even this is
Mm-hmm.
completely different. Um but internally and values, we are very aligned
Yeah.
and very similar,
Yeah.
and the relationship that we have is very easy.
Yeah.
You know, we agree on spiritual stuff, and we agree on political stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We agree on how we want to spend our money and how we want to live our
Yep.
lives, and
Yep.
what things look like,
Yep.
you know,
We
for
agree
us as
on
a
we
couple.
agree on the main leads.
Yeah, on
The
the main
main
leads.
leads.
Yeah,
The emotionally, physically, spiritually,
spiritually.
and mentally.
Yeah.
You know?
But we also work at our relationship.
Oh, we definitely do.
We communicate a lot. We disagree, and
All the
you've seen on
time.
here, we bicker.
Hmm.
Um we disagree. We don't, and I don't want somebody that agrees with me all
Oh,
the
that would be
time.
boring.
I knew that was one thing I knew I needed. Nobody wants someone that tells them no, but I knew I needed
You
someone
needed
that
someone to tell you no?
tell me no.
Happy to
And
do it
I'm
for
like,
you.
why do you have to tell me no all the time? Um yeah, so we are very, even though with all those differences,
Yeah.
like, we are basically different in every way
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
histories. We are very aligned and very similar in our internal
And that's
beings.
the thing that I think is most important, that oftentimes when you think of dating somebody, you look at these things that are superficial
Right.
or easy to check off, or check the box, or what's the other word? Not delineate, not enumerate, not monetize. Either way, you cannot
Measure.
measure,
Measure.
easily measurable. I don't know if you caught how
I
nicely I
did.
just.
I saw you save that.
And, buddy got it, buddy got it. But you look for these things that are easily measurable, but what's going to truly make the relationship stronger and better are those things that aren't. Those things that are value based, or those things that are internally based, are the things that make the relationship truly
Hmm.
strong.
Yeah. And our, like, fundamentally, we are very, there's another Lee.
Fundamentally.
Fundamentally, we are very aligned and
Yeah.
have been since the moment we met. Our relationship has been very easy since
Yep.
the moment we met. And that's one of the reasons why we do what we do in this space, because I see a lot of people who work really hard at trying to make something fit that's just not a
That
good
doesn't.
fit.
Doesn't. And we get to come at it from two different sides too.
Yes.
Because I can be like, yeah, I was there for 15 years.
Right.
If it doesn't fit, ultimately it's not going to fit.
Right. And some that our differences have been very helpful for us in this space, and also when we're working with couples together.
Yeah.
because we do cover such a
Wide gamut.
holistic
Yeah.
way or experiences. We have that difference of experience. We can speak to a lot of different things, and in
Yeah.
in this space, it's coaching, not counseling. So we
Right.
can speak to those things in a way that says, "This was my experience, and that, or this is how I found this to be. Maybe you can relate, or here's some challenges that come up in this space."
Yeah.
Right? Because we are
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
Here's some challenges that come up, and maybe just be aware of these, or here's how to overcome these or work through
Yeah.
these. And so those differences have definitely been an asset
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
us.
Bec-
And oh, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No, you finish that.
I was saying, because our relationship is so easy, like, how we are in this space is exactly how we are, like, outside of this space.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what people are seeing on camera is exactly what we are like in person.
Yeah.
And so, like, we are laughing, we are poking at each other, we are maybe bickering at each other.
Uh-huh.
You know, that is who we are, but it's very easy, and I want to teach people how to have
Cuz
that too.
I want that, I want that for them. Like
Yeah.
I want that for you. Like
Yeah.
I don't want it to feel, as weird as it sounds, I don't want it to feel as though our relationship is unique.
No. No, not at
I
all.
don't want that. And
And ease, and I want
I
people to
want
experience
that
that ease.
ease for you, because I want you to be able to experience that joy. I think so much of that for me is because I experienced so much else for so long, that I understand how much this level of joy fulfills the life so much more than can be expressed.
Right. And how you experience that or lack of in your previous relationship. I come from the other perspective that says, "Oh, I keep dating the same person. Like I
Yeah.
have to be the common denominator. Maybe
Yep.
this is all there is. Maybe this is as good as it gets."
Yeah.
And when you value yourself over being in a relationship period, like people think sometimes like I just need to have somebody,
Yeah.
getting someone to choose me.
Yeah.
When you choose yourself, out of that comes the ease of what
Yeah.
is meant for you
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
opening yourself up for what is meant for you to find you. So you come from it from one perspective. I
Yep.
come from it, from a different
And to
perspective.
clarify, the come from it might be we come from the view of the relationship or structuring
Yeah,
relationships, but the it is also what you were just talking about. Coming to the it of loving and choosing you,
right.
because you had to choose you and say, I'm going to be the best single person I ever am going to be if that's just what's for me. I
Mhm.
had to come from it from the no, I actually do deserve more than this. I do deserve love. I do deserve to
Yeah.
be valued. I do deserve to be in a relationship where somebody sees me and I'm not just here filling some position because I'm supposed to be married forever. And so even the it of choosing you is
Mhm.
something how we come together differently.
Right.
So, if people want to ask more questions, I know we kind of gave the run over of the quick rundown of things that are different versus the same. But I'm sure there are additional questions just about how we deal with things in relationships. And so, if there are questions about how we deal with things in relationships and how people want to understand more of where we're coming from, put those in the comments too. We'll
Or
do
people,
another.
if anybody wants to work with us one on one,
Yeah,
like any
yeah,
couple one on one too, like that is something that we do with shift and engage
yep,
um counseling and coaching.
yep,
That's also a possibility, but we both just really want people to be able to experience just like
yeah,
easy,
yeah.
fun, enjoyable
Love and
relationships.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
So there you have it.
There it is. Off to the next one.
Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.